Guys, welcome to my channel. I'm coming on to share a tutorial on how I did my paper roses, which I had shown on a recent video with my Easter egg shakers. And it's this flower right here. And I made this with paper. Okay, so a viewer requested a tutorial. So here it is, Jezebel 1490. Thank you so much for your comment. And like I said, I was considering doing a tutorial on it, and since you had mentioned that you'd like to see one, I'm going to do one for you guys. So here we go. Hopefully this video is not so long, but let's get started. First of all, the paper that I use is just like printer paper, just the 20-pound. You know, I've tried making it with other like scrapbook paper, the lightweight. It does work, but the paper is a little more stiff, and you can't really manipulate the petals as easy as you could with a very thin paper. So that's the best part. You don't need to have, you know, specialty papers, just paper from your printer, even if it's just plain white. I just happen to use pink on that flower there because I had some. I have printer paper in all different colors. So anyways, and that was the reason why I bought them in different colors, because that's how I started my paper crafting hobby, was starting with paper flowers. So you can use regular old printer paper, and there are two ways you can do this. Now I have this punch, and it is the EK Success or EK Tools punch, and it's a 5-petal punch, and I believe this is called like a retro mini flower. I see them. I don't know if I've seen them anymore at the stores, but you could probably find them online, and this is what I use to make that little flower. But you could also use your own flowers that you create on your own, so you don't need a punch, okay? And these petals may not be perfect, and it doesn't matter, because what flower is perfect, right? There's no flowers that have perfect petals, and that's the beauty of it. That's what makes them so pretty, is because they're not perfect. So anyways, what I did was, on the ones that you can create yourself, all I did was I punched out a circle with my 1.5-inch punch. Okay, you don't need to have a circle punch either. You could cut out your own circles, you know, just trace something that's round. Okay, so it's a project that anyone can do with what they have at home. So all I did was I folded it in half, and then I went and folded it in thirds. So you just fold over one side like this, then you fold over the other side like that to just overlap, and then you have this cone shape. And I just take my scissors and I just cut around like this, just like that. And so now you have a little shape that looks like an ice cream cone or a snow cone. Then you just open it up, and then it'll give you 6 petals. Now this one here has 5. You know, odd numbers are always nice for flowers, but you know, that's an easy way to do it, and it'll come out just as beautiful. Okay, and then what I did, I'm going to show you. This is the one that I made with no punch. Okay, and what I did, I used my distress ink, and after I cut the petals out, all I did was take my distress ink and put some ink on there. And you can use any color, and that's what's nice. If you have white printer paper but you have some stamps, you could even watercolor, you can use markers, you can use crayons, pencils, whatever you got, and you can customize your flower petals. Okay, so there you go. Now it's pink. And I've tried watercolor, and it's really pretty. You could just paint the whole paper with all different colors, let it dry, and then go ahead and punch out your circles, and then cut your petals out. So let's get started. First of all, this mat is a McGill mat, and it is made for paper flowers. They do have a set that comes with the mat and a bunch of different sizes of dry embossing tools. This happens to be Martha Stewart, and I have a few of these. And this is the one that I have that has the biggest ball on the end. And you could also find this online. And if you go into the baking section as well, like cake decorating section, you can find some tools there too. So let's get started. This mat here is similar to a mouse mat. So it's kind of spongy. So if you have a mouse mat for your computer, that's what you can use. You just want a little bit of something that's not going to be so resistant. You want it to be squishy like that. That's how I can describe it. But anyway, so what you want to do is you want to create texture on your petals. So what you do is you just make it, you know, what I call wrinkly. So you just start texturing your petals by rolling the ball, and see how it's cupping up like that? That's what you want. Now if you don't have a tool like this, you could also use the end of a paintbrush. Okay, I'll show you with that. So you just do the same thing, just like this. Okay. Now if you don't have a paintbrush, you can use a ballpoint pen, not the pen itself, but like something that has a round edge to it, so that you can do the same thing here. And so it, you know, you just want to be careful not to press too hard, and it's not going to take much pressing to get your petals to, you know, curl up, because you just want it to have texture like real petals. Okay, so I punched out 5, and we're going to do all 5. You could do 4 as well. It depends on how full you want your flower to be. So 4 looks actually nice. It's fluffy enough, but 5 will give you, you know, a fuller flower. So there's that. Okay, so after you want to make sure you get all your petals done. Okay, now, so now that I have them all, the first thing we want to do is one of these, we want to make sure that it is cupped in the middle. So you just want to do this because this will be our center. The rest of them you're going to go ahead and flip over. Okay, and you're going to go on the opposite, and you're going to push in the center, and so your leaves are like kind of cupped under. Okay, because these will be your outer petals. So then it looks like this. Okay, just like that. Kind of don't want to stay on the mat, but anyways, you just keep going like this. So now you have 4 that are going the opposite way, and 1 that is cupped in the middle. And the one that's cupped in the middle is the one we're going to use to create this center bud. Okay, so let's just put these aside. Let's take the first one. Now, the first one you want to do is you want to take a petal from each side. It's going to be hard. These are tiny. And you want to kind of bend it into each other like this. So it's from the opposite side. Okay. A little bit of hot glue just right here on the outside. Now, you want to be careful, because if you're not used to using hot glue, you may burn yourself. So just be careful. Okay. So see how it's created this little cup here? Now you want to go ahead and turn it and go this way. So now you're creating the bud. So just take your hot glue gun. And I know these strings are going to bother you, but I think afterwards you can take a hair dryer or something and blow it, and it should get rid of all those little glue webs. And then just continue around. And I'm just putting glue towards the bottom, just like that, bringing it up, and just kind of bend it so you still have that little hole there. Okay, so we have 1 more left. Go ahead and put some glue on that. Now you've got your little bud. Okay, so now that you have your bud, now we're ready to go to the next layer. So you take the next one, put a little glue on the bottom here. Okay, and you want to go ahead and center that in the middle of your petals there, just like this. Now what you want to do is you want to take your glue and go to the very bottom of the petal. You can do 2 at a time, 1 at a time, whichever makes you comfortable or whatever is comfortable for you, and push it onto the bud where it sticks onto the bud like that, okay? Go to the next one, a little bit of glue. And see, the idea was to have the petals going back, okay? That's why I flipped them over and then, you know, did the middle part here like this, and then the flower petals would go out, so that it would make a prettier flower that way. And then I have one more. And go ahead and push that in there like that. So now you have your first or your second layer, okay? Now you want to take it again, put a little glue on the bottom, and get your next layer. Now you want to offset these petals. You see where these two meet? You kind of want to go into the middle of the other petal so it is not, so it's off-centered, okay? Just like that. So now we're going to do the same thing over again. I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on the bottom and glue that up. Okay. And get some of those glue strings out. Keep on going. It'll get easier, guys. This is, you know, flowers just take a little bit of time, you know, and what's great about it is that it doesn't have to be perfect. 'Cause like I said, in nature, flowers are not perfect. So I think it's going to be beautiful regardless. But it's just so small, you know, that it's kind of hard to not get your fingertips burned by the glue gun. I mean, you could use wet glue if you'd like. It just takes longer, and I just prefer using hot glue. Okay, so we're on to the next layer. Put a little glue on the bottom. Get your next layer here. Off-center it again. Just like that. See, as you can see where those two petals meet, you got another one here. So it's off-centered. So it gives it a nice effect. So go ahead and add some more glue. Push those up. You could bend the petals while you're at it too. Okay. Go to your next one. Okay. And then we have our one last petal here. Okay, guys. That is 4. Okay. So here's 4. Here's 5. So you can see it makes it a little bit fuller, right? But if you could stop right there if you want, you know, or you could stop at any, you know, layered you want. Like you can do 3 if you want them to be small, or maybe just have a bud. You know, that's totally up to you. Whatever you're using them on, embellishing them with, you can design it however you want. We're going to go all 5 since I have one here. I'm going to offset that just like that. Okay, and then we're going to glue those. That one looks like it's already glued on. Yep. Okay. I'm going to do these 2 here. Last one. Okay, and the reason why you want to glue it towards the bottom is so that you can, you know, have the petals be more flexible to move if you want to, you know, go in there and bend them up again to give them, you know, more shape. There you go, guys. That's how I made my little tiny roses. Okay, if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments below, and I will try and answer your questions as best as I can. And like I said, you don't need a punch. You can make your own pretty flowers using the same technique here, except you will have to create your own petals. And you know, if it if it's not as flexible, what you want to go and do here is just cut a little bit further down so that your petals can move better if you need to, just like this. But I wouldn't cut them until after you've done your coloring, okay? Unless you've already colored the whole paper and then you cut your flowers out, because you don't, when you start to distress your paper, you don't want to rip it, and it's, you know, it's a lot more stable if you don't have those petals cut into yet. So there's my tip for that, and I hope you guys give it a shot because you're gonna love it. And make a whole bunch, put them aside like I do, and then pull them out when you're ready to use them, and, you know, create something really beautiful, you know, with your paper flowers. And make some clips. You know, you can do different things with them. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me today, and I appreciate your comments, your likes, your subscriptions, and I hope you guys have a great day. Hope the tutorial helped you guys. Bye-bye.